Hello, everyone. I wanted to come on here to talk about some things astrology regarding not anything placement wise, but the astrology community at large. All right. My name is Stephanie Nunez, and I go by Angel of Cups, Angel Alchemy Healing. Those are the names and the aliases that I use when I discuss astrology, when I present myself in these spheres on the internet and to translate the sky through me to you. Um, a lot of you may not know who I am because I don't go to conferences. I don't really involve myself in the world of the astrology community, like the cult of it all. And um, I find it to be peaceful my way, that way. I feel like if I was so ingrained in this community, it would be controversial for me all the time. So I'm definitely putting out a risk here by putting myself out there and talking about some of this stuff with y'all. So there's two things mainly that I want to talk about. I want to address the big hubla bubla drama that's going on right now regarding Stephen Forrest, the astrologer and teacher. I believe I've never heard of Stephen Forrest until this came about. Yeah, I didn't check into any of his work or anything, but I have tuned into his presence and his stance in his reading, and I think he is a good man, and I don't think that he happens to be racist, but there may be some things in the DNA that just come out sometimes. And as a mixed woman, just giving a little background about myself, I'm mixed race. Um, I was born in Valhalla, New York, but I was raised in southern Maine with my brother's stepbrother's family, who's Irish, French Canadian, and some Native, but mostly Irish and French Canadian. So I have a very eclectic background within myself, like being so mixed. My mom is mulatto. She's half black, half white. She's also adopted. And from what we know, she's half black, half white. And my dad, he is Cuban, European, and black. So I'm quite a conundrum and mixed person. Always have been this way. Always have been very eclectic and tribal with my view of life just because of the ways that I have been raised. Let me change the music so there's no words distracting for me. I have autism, by the way. So yeah, I'm a very mixed person, very mixed race, very eclectic. Grew up around a lot of different people, a lot of different religions, a lot of different folk, a lot of different studies and forms of relating to people. Okay, I just want to give you guys a little bit of background. My astrology, I am a Scorpio sun, a Scorpio rising, and a Pisces moon in tropical astrology. In True Sky Vedic, I am a Libra sun, Libra rising, I believe. It might be Scorpio rising, can't remember. And I stay true to a Pisces moon. So, that's a little background about me, all right? Um, and I want to address as well, um, or we'll get into the second part after I get into this first part, addressing Stephen. I first of all just want to say I think this is a great learning opportunity for everyone in this community to check themselves, to check their egos, to check their privilege. Okay? Um, you can look up the video. I might put it in here. The clip of Stephen Foster having a Zoom discussion that was held for the public with his black colleague, I believe, African American colleague on the other end. And Stephen ended up saying the N word, full word. And
Blaze and I are starting to develop a relationship. He approached me that he'd heard I did a conscious sun signs thing. Well, it must have been early '90s, and I'm making fun of racism, but I'm embodying a Colonel Sanders type, and use the N word, And that kind of stuff worked like crazy in like the 80s and 90s, making fun of racism. You could use the N word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with the N word, having heard it a few times in your life, nigger. And And it's like the times have changed, that that was a righteous way of making fun of racism, but now it isn't. And
It made a big boom in the astrology community because it's 2026, okay? And I understand age is a thing here. In certain times, it was okay to freely use these words openly all the time, whenever, without anything. Just, it's a word for some people. For some people, it's just a word. For people who have emotion attached to this word, it's because it's a disgusting word that shouldn't even be used, especially by a white person. Especially by a white person addressing a black person. Okay? And I'm mixed race. Okay? It's not black, white, it's not about color to me, but it's about respect. Okay? You don't just use these archaic words like digging them up from the grave. Like that should be put in the past. N word. We say N word. The N word. What is wrong with saying the N word? I think some people, and I'm not saying this is him, some people really just like to remind people of the harsh treatments and things that have happened to their people by their people. And I think that's an energy, a spirit that's working through people to just test brown people sometimes to see if we're still going to just allow it. Okay? And I just want to come here and say this word should not be used at all anymore in 2026, especially. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what generation you grew up in. I don't care about your background and your family and what they use, the words they use and thought was okay. I don't care that the man was black on the other end and your friend and didn't find it offensive. I don't care. The problem is that you think it's okay to use that word and other people excusing it, especially those that have no idea the weight of that word and the rooting of that word, where it came from. It was born of hatred. It was born of true hatred. Some of you have never had to grow up and hear stories of your ancestors getting dragged by cars, mangled until they were dead. Some of you have never had to hear about your relatives being hung alive from trees or being set on fire alive and burning alive. Some of you have never had to understand what it feels like for your family to be hunted down just because of what they look like. Okay? Some of you have never had to, you don't understand the weight of what these words trickle on in and what we're still dealing with today. We still have lynchings. Highly active, actually, since for the past few years. It is clear that there has been more divide within race groups at this time, for one reason, more or the other. So we should really be thinking of the words we're using, right? Especially when we are in a part of a community that is so inclusive of other people. We have tons of people in the astrology community from all walks of life. Astrology is not something to colonize. That's going to be my next topic. Because this is the reason why I'm not involved in these communities. I would make everyone have a headache with my mouth. So I just don't join in. And my presence is a pretty powerful one regarding astrology. I've been studying for over 10 years. Self-taught, but also I've taken courses and classes, and I'm always opening my learning. I started with a tropical astrology, and it has branched into Vedic and to True Sky. There are so many systems of astrology, which was beautiful. I'm going to be a lifetime student, as we all are. None of us will master this because it's a continuum. And we're here to plant the seed as it expands for the new astrologers to come in and learn and add their seeds, because it's measuring time with the celestials, right? So that study is not ever going to be mastered. No matter what, you master it as you go through life. I know I've been a studier and a practitioner of astrology for many lifetimes because the way it came to me, it was so natural, and I was hooked, and I applied it immediately to my life, and I'm like, this makes sense. Especially with my autism, I started remembering people more for their zodiac signatures than their names. I'd remember their zodiac sign over their name because I was really bad with remembering names. But I can remember a face, I can remember a vibe, I can remember, oh, he is Pisces, that's right. Oh, his heart, he is so kind and so loving, always, always seeking to bring watery goodness into the field. Okay? So, that being said, like, I gotta understand what is with the colonization of the sacred science of astrology when it is literally so vast. There's so much to learn. I've always said the best astrologers are the older ones because they have been able to see time play out throughout their lifetime and apply it. So they're able to really explain certain transitions. You're not going to be able to explain a Saturn return as well as someone who's been through one. So until you're around 28, 30, you're not going to be able to really understand a Saturn return until you've actually gone through it and been through it. Because this is like, it's like an initiation. It's an initiation through the celestial spheres, through ourselves, because they are magnetizing, or they are reflecting ourselves. It's light reflecting through us as we are stardust, right? So I've gone through this so much in the past, since I've never dealt with so much like hijack and control of a learning practice than I have with astrology in the most recent years. And I'm very confused, but I think I'm getting it more now because we have certain beings that have done this many lifetimes to try to change our view on our sky, changing our view on what we see our sky to look like and how it reflects within us. Because if you have that control, if you can view how someone sees an energy translating through them, you can control that. And I'm not saying one form of astrology is better than the other. There's multiple systems and they can be used for multiple different things. I just had to like unbrainwash myself for a few years of joining this group that was studying 13 sign astrology. And one of the people, they were very much like, tropical astrology is wrong, it is not right, it's not the way, like just really up against it, like having a very harsh, like this is not the way. When that's, how are you going to tell me that when that's something I've studied and have proven gnosis in within myself and many others that I help, readings that I've given, I have tons of testimonials, tons of reviews, many that I have not shared at all. I don't need the bragging rights, but for people that do need the proof, tropical astrology has worked for me and many others. It obviously has some validation to it. There is not just one way to view the sky. There is not just one way to measure the sky. Astrology is a way of like time measurement within the sky and how it's reflecting onto planet Earth. So when I viewed tropical astrology versus Vedic astrology, as I'm starting to blend these systems and it was integrating within my understanding, tropical astrology is more like relative to our earthly time, what is right here in our earthly sphere and space, right in front of us. What can we feel right now, right here in the 3D? It's more 3D based, where Vedic is more of a higher concept. It's more of a spiritual sense. And this made sense a lot because I'm all Scorpio and tropical. Lots of Scorpio stellium. It all goes to Libra in Vedic or true sky. I'm very much a Libra as well. I am always wanting to make peace. I don't like upsetting people. I people please. I will sacrifice mine for the whole to make everyone else happy. That makes me happy. To bring peace and to bring justice and fairness makes me happy. But also I change my mind a lot. So I knew that there was truth and validity to the 13th sign, to the true sky, to the Vedic. But did that mean that I had to throw out completely tropical astrology? Which is what this person in that group was trying to make me do. They were trying to make me abandon what I have learned, all that I've learned, instead of integrating it to create an integration and understanding there. Because for some people, it's too hard for them to understand. I understand both. I see truth in both. Okay? So I'm bringing this in because there's just too much. There's too much in this astrology community and of colonization and ego and control and domination. You're wrong. This is wrong. Like people viewing it, and it's all a form of how you view it. Whole sign versus Placidus. For example, I just had some, there's a astrology ship posting group on Facebook, and someone made a post about how cusps aren't real. And I made a comment. I was like, you know what? And I explained. I wasn't rude, but I explained. And I also explained how it's more Nazi-brained people that cannot understand difference. Nazi-brained people, I'll say Germanic reptilians, they only see things one way. And I think that's like how they're wired. They cannot see things multiple ways. They try to make everyone else adopt that one perspective way ideology. How can you do that with mixed people? Like me, for example, who sees life from so many different lenses, views, perspectives, cultural identities. How do you tell me only one is right? That's like coming to a mixed person and saying, like my ex would do, you're not Spanish, you're not black, you're white. And you know, that really would rip me up inside, because it's like you're trying to strip a form of my identity for whatever reason, whatever it does for you to colonize. It makes you feel better to colonize. And this cannot happen in astrology. We cannot have ego in astrology. When ego gets in astrology in our way of time measurement with the sky, that's how we have things like Mars wars and stuff like this happen, because it's not respecting the natural flow. It's trying to bring in a domination rather than seeing a harmonious, diverse ecosystem, which is what it is down here on Earth, as well as in our space, in our galaxy. It's very diverse. It's like you guys don't like diversity. And that's a lot of the time, a lot of places are like this. So this is why I won't go, because I'm a very diverse person. I require diversity. If you're not promoting diversity and you're promoting a one-way ideology, I don't want to go to your group. I don't want to study with you, because you're telling me I'm wrong, you're right. You're not leaving any room for discovery. Which is what astrology is all about, my friends. Astrology is all about the discovery of ourselves, our planet, each other, and what is around us. It relates to so much. It literally is the relation to the soul. You can see where your soul has been once you learn how to read it properly. You can see how other people have been with you. It's a way to read into soul and also the future and the past, so that we are able to look at the themes that have taken place over time and see the repeating patterns. It's a form of pattern recognition. So the people that come in and colonize, I'm just like, is this a psyop to distract people so that we don't know the patterns that have occurred, so that, for manipulation? And I'm just not about any of that. I've been through enough hijacking, manipulation, all this cult stuff and cult conditioning I've had to heal from. I'm not going to put myself more in those spaces to be ripped up and torn up. I love astrology. I have loved astrology forever. In all my lives, I think it's my heart and soul. And when I look up at that sky, at those stars and those constellations, I am reminded of my truest nature. Truest nature. And it is not to dominate astrology with my ideologies and my beliefs. I'm here to share, teach, educate, and also learn from others. I'm not here to shut anyone else down. Only if you're causing harm. That's when I'm going to come in. That's when my Scorpio tail is going to come in and correct things. Like with this rude comment and word that was used that should never be used, especially in 2026, especially by people that are not Black. It's disrespectful, disgusting, arrogant, and ignorant to think otherwise or to defend it being used. I'm really coming on here is to say, keep astrology wild. Please. Keep astrology wild. It's always changing. We're always discovering things. We're always having new things birth in our galaxy, in our solar system. We're having new stars come in all the time. Things are changing pace and shifting all the time. You have to be flexible. I'm talking to the Nazi-brained people who have a really hard time with flexibility. The Saturn people, maybe I'm talking to. All cubed up. Anything outside the cube is wrong. No. And some of y'all really think that you're breaking, like you're bringing in these things that are really like cutting edge, but you're actually distorting the truth. You're extorting and you're extorting and exploiting. I am so protective about astrology. It's just like and it's been this way since I have discovered it and used it in my life, because it's a tool. It's a beautiful tool to learn more about yourself and your life and the themes of your life. And it should be used with great responsibility, especially if you're teaching others. Hence why I don't do much besides speak about things, because I don't feel well equipped enough to teach. I mean, I do. I probably could be more confident in that because I've got a lot of integrity compared to some people that I see on here that are really... You cannot go into astrology with the mind of box and cube and it's only this way. You cannot. Do you understand? It's just not... It's a skewed view. You're shrinking astrology to fit what you want it to fit your ego's idea of what it is, and it's too big. Do you understand? It's too big for you to shrink. That's why you take your little bits and pieces and you learn it bit by bit and phase by phase. Maybe you'll be learning about the elements more. Maybe you'll be learning more about the houses. Maybe you'll be learning whole system versus Placidus. And compare. I use Placidus. I use cusps. That's how I understand. That's how I learned. I learned with cusps. I understand cusps very well as a mixed person. I see the mix. I can feel the mix. Okay? Versus whole system, which is new to me. I've been looking into whole system. I'm like, oh, this is who I am in whole system. This is who I am in sidereal system. This is who I am in tropical system. This is who I am in draconic system. And there's more systems. Okay? It don't mean one is more right than the other. And you may not resonate with all of them. You may not resonate with none of them. You might not only resonate with one. And that's fine. But let other people, because we all are different and unique, right? And I really think it has to do with our lineage and where we've come from. I think the more mixed you are, also the more lives you've had as other races and cultures, you're going to understand that astrology is very vast. It is a mystery still to be discovered. I'm very proud of us now. I'm happy that it's so much in the scope. We have people knowing their signs, talking about their signs, and getting to look at the constellations on their sky maps and seeing, oh, that's true sky. That's where the constellations are based. And that's what sidereal is, based off the constellations. So it shifts the degrees, it shifts the lengths of the sign. True sky sidereal is different from traditional Vedic sidereal. This is why. And this is I was never a math girl. I sucked at math. I would get very frustrated with math as a child, with my amazing mathematician Libra stepfather spending hours with me at the table as I break pencils and want to chew my homework and get up from the table and run around and bang my head around things because math frustrated me that much. Because they always said I had to do it this way. Even if I got the right answer my own way, they would say, it's wrong. You have to do it our way. And I can't do that. If you know me, you know that is not going to fly. I don't do what's not comfortable for me. I mean, not comfortable. I'll step outside the comfort zone. Absolutely. It's not a thing that I shy away from at all. But I am not going to push myself to adopt the beliefs that I don't necessarily agree with just because someone's coming in and acting like they're holier than thou and they know more than me. Because what if I have found truth in it? And what if it's working for me? You want me to abandon what works for me just to appease your ego and what you say is right? There is no room for colonization or Nazi rhetoric ideology within astrology, guys. You see how diverse it is. It's a diverse nature. No two Sagittarius, no two Aries, no three Libra are the same. You know, that birth time, the year, the location, it all matters. Okay? Can we please let up on the colonization and the control within the astrology community, please, and understand there are multiple ways to view the sky? There were multiple star mappers that created these systems. It doesn't mean one is more wrong than the other. It just means this one created this system from this. Does that resonate with me? No? Okay, maybe this system will. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. There's a system for everyone. There's not a one-size-fits-all in astrology. It'll never be that way, so stop trying to make it that way. Stop trying to perfectly package it up so it's perfect, pretty, and priceable. I don't know what is wrong with people doing that with every dang thing. That's wild. You want to just domesticate everything. You cannot domesticate astrology. You cannot. You just can't. It's going to break out of the box and mold every freaking time. I love astrology. I love it so much. I love that we are all sharing so much and able to teach each other. I just want to see more respect within the communities of each other with the differences, especially. Just if you don't agree with someone, that's okay. It doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means they're different than you. Get over it and move on. And please, with these words, these outdated words, we're creating the future right now with our presence. It's like when you're bringing the past into the future. Why do we want that word even in around us? There's a way to express things without saying the full words if they're going to be offensive. You don't know what hearing that word might do to somebody. You don't know what they've been through. You have no idea. You have no idea the triggering that could come just from hearing these words for some people. And this is where I come in for the ignorant, the ones that aren't. You can say it so easily. You can say it so easily with a smile on your face, like you don't feel bad. How? Ignorance is bliss, I guess. I'm not trying to bash this man, but I want people of his age group to see also, you guys need to be responsible with what you're bringing into the future, with your old crusty ideologies that need to go in the garbage can and get buried and go to hell. Okay? Because this isn't a collective community. This is a collective world. There's so many walks of life. And it doesn't mean you gotta follow them all, but you don't get to control them. That's where I'm at. Leave astrology to be wild, just like the feminine. Let her be wild when she wishes. Let her be refined when she wishes. That is nature. Astrology is the study of the nature of the cosmos as well as this beautiful planet. in us and how they weave. How we weave with our celestial energy moving and coursing through us, or how we block it off. Some of you don't want to look into your Lilith placement. You don't want to look into your Pluto. You don't want to look into your shadow. You don't want to look at your Lucifer placement. You don't want to look at your darkness. Oh, if I just ignore it, it's not there. Nope, it's only this way. That's the Nazi ideology. I'm just going to ignore it like it's not there. And build a whole new thing on top of it. That's colonization. And we can't have it anymore. It's disruptive and it's hurting people. It's bringing harm. And we're not supposed to bring harm here. Come on, guys. It's about the harm we cause and the way we repair that harm, that karma. It has everything to do with what's going on in the planet right now. So I'm really happy that this has presented and I was given an opportunity to speak to you all about it, because it's important in a manner.